And the lower bracket run begins here between Davenport University and Timbermen on the map of Vertigo. We begin in our lower bracket as I'm Phi. I'm joined by Cole Exer McHenry as we're going to be beginning this BO3 here for FRAG 17 in Denver, Colorado. Let's get this show on the road.
Here we go. Here we go. Another Vertigo game as well. These seem to never fail to deliver. So excited to catch this one for our opening map as the rush comes through towards this A-bomb site. I like the sandbag setup that we see Nero go for here. He's going to be able to backstab this A attack that's coming on forward, even deny a bomb plate potentially.
Oh no.
Bugs found him already. All that issue solved right there from the IGL.
Now the bomb plant. It's been set in. There's 5 players still standing for Davenport. The flank's going to take a long time to activate too. Still on the site, still on default, and he can hold on very nice crossfire respect, but both of them actually get taken down. Now this ramp flank, it activates Kel. Can't find anything. Oh, the bullet's running dry. He goes down, and now just leaving Snap 1v3, and the pistol round goes to Davenport's favor.
Great conversion right there. Wonderful stuff from them. I mean, great clear from Pug as well. Making sure that he gets that sandbags called clear. And if he goes down, if Nero finds that kill and he's able to just backstab that A plant, there's no real chance that Davenport can get those numbers punched in without, a little bit of luck their way. So good stuff on the A execute. Pretty standard from Davenport. They get the job done here. Full eco and play from Timbermen though. They're trying to get those rifles out ASAP. Nice little nade. That's a lovely bounce on a Nero.
I've seen a couple teams nade stack that before as well. It's great, very good to catch an opper off guard. Sometimes an opper holds that tight angle, so you can go ahead and bring up for any of your pugs. Who knows? Maybe even an official, if they get a little bit frisky out towards middle. But speaking, getting frisky out towards middle, it's not the Z side. It is the T side. They have the better weaponry, and they got all the MAC 10s. I'm waiting for the farm to come through. Maybe not a MAC 10 to do it, but the Galeals are slowly gonna lock horns with the CT side, who are beginning to glide over to this B site. So Pug, I mean, he's slipped past this entire defense. They're about to be running into the entire team. That means it's gonna be the end of the road, and does find one. Great spray transfer there though from Cole. And leaving these remaining 2 players on the site. They will get cleaned up. Davenport University, they will deal with the anti-eco, handle it.
Only one to drop right there, so relatively tidy for Davenport. But still, this leaves them in an interesting position here up against the first gun round of Timbermen. There's a few players lacking that head Kevlar, but you also got MAC 10s in play here for Davenport, so maybe they can utilize that to full effect if they're able to catch Shane, Kel, or Snav. They're certainly lacking in utility. So I want to see Davenport maybe play a more slow approach to this round, but right now these smokes are kind of hinting at a very quick play.
Okay.
Fast generator smokes thrown in, and they might just rush in towards B.
And they're going to Corn, immediately finding us. They have both the left and the right smoke for the generator. Very good utility usage here from Davenport, and Kel taking lots of flak through the smoke down to half HP. And so much utility still remaining in the pockets. There's 2 more mollies right now for Davenport University. They can just throw mollies forever and forever, and this is going to have to be a save here from the Timbermen, unless they find that one on the Snav. Steal, though, a molly for the bomb. They're on smoke for defense, but there's no kits in the hands of the Timbermen. They have to go fast, and now, and unfortunately, you're right, Cole, they got to save.
Yeah, I mean, they seem so hesitant about going in for that one. I think Snav's, first kill on the entrance back into this round encouraged him just a little bit to go in for that, but that's a really cool play brought out from Davenport. Important that they're going to be whipping that out early on a bonus round to make sure that that momentum is continuing in their pocket, right? I mean,
right.
You just are pulling out a huge strat early in the game, but it's going to keep you in winning ways. It's so smart from Davenport.
Believe it or not, I actually think that round is an anti-strat. Shane consistently yesterday was leaving the B site mostly open. He wasn't really fighting for the site. He was playing from generator. So if you just go for strict B site executes and you have a million Molotovs still remaining, they basically took the B site free of charge. You have so many mollies for your post plant. There's no even considering a retake there. I like that initial instant strategy right now thrown in from Davenport, because Shane playing very passively on the site. That's going to be a very nice punish, tactically speaking, from Davenport.
Yeah, no doubt. Utilizing that B bomb site, not often that we see, those level of executes. Oftentimes it's that A side where a lot of teams set their early plays. And that might be the case now after the gun rounds have settled, after the first one, that is. Test once again, though. There's still plenty of rifles in play for Timbermen as they were able to save a couple of those. We've got corn on the lurk towards middle here as well. For the most part, we're a minute deep into this round. We just see now the scaling of ramp control being gathered here. A little utility left into the pockets of the Davenport members. Going to get that sandbags mulligan. And I think the Timbermen are just going to be happy conceding this control of the A bomb site and potentially allowing for post plants to ensue. Especially if there's a left and right smoke in.
Trying to get their mollies in to force any players out from the short shelf. Wall smokes are there for the site, but Nero finds a smoke spam onto Spec. Pug's going to be able to scale the site. They could get a plant, but the smoke spam is too good. Pug now taking flash. There's at least 250 damage dealt through that smoke, but they will be able to get the plants in. Pug needs to try and escape. They'll be able to back away to short and to safety. The plant is in. There's no smokes for the defuse. It is going to be raw gunfights that will be taking place on the site. Timbermen begin back to the bomb. Spray couple down here though, but it's Nero able to find a 4K on this round. He found 2 through the smoke and 2 on the retake to get the first round up and running.
That's a solid little double swing going on right there. They have one player swinging on top of the headshot box, and then a couple players swinging down below them. Couple that with some pretty fast side hole control taken from Timbermen, and you got yourself a pretty solid retake, all things considered. I think this is a timeout here called. We'll see if, that's on the Davenport camp. I imagine there's a lot to be discussed in terms of trying to just break down Timbermen here early on that T side. Again, we talked about this team needing to get a pretty active start. They need to make sure that they're starting this match off, confident as ever and full of energy, because you don't want to see them drift off like they did in their series versus Snakes Den.
Right, but just tactically speaking, it's looked pretty decently sound there from Davenport. A bit unfortunate though when it came to the smoke spams and positioning on that. Timbermen we're able to capitalize with 2 through that smoke spam. So finding themselves man advantages on the post plant makes it pretty difficult to hold on to that A site. It's honestly the A site of Vertigo. It's a pretty retakeable site, all things considered. One smoke can kind of get you access to the full site once again, and to the bomb too. So though it is a very open site that allows for good post plants, it's also just you don't need a lot of CT side utility to be able to begin the retake as well. So that is one thing. We are in a little bit of tech pause, and we do wait for a couple of players to reconnect. I do believe Dare and thank you, Jay. That player model does look kind of funny. I do say.
Yeah.
He's a ninja, dude. He's a ninja.
That is true.
He's honestly kind of like the awkward one in the pack. It's like, look, a couple of them are just like not like those guys are just like kind of overdoing it. Like this guy you're just wearing cool sunglasses. Like, come on now.
Yeah, you didn't get the memo that he needed all this
gear. He's just like,
yeah.
I think
He just has the baseball cap on.
Yeah, I've already mentioned I'm certainly a hat wearer. I'm certainly a hat wearer. I get myself a literal FBI dad hat. I'm not gonna do that, but I'm not that kind of dad hat wearer. Look at these guys. Look at these dudes. What brand of sunglasses is he wearing right now? Those are some fly shades. Oh,
you
no.
get to zoom in.
First person perspective of what it's like to be Davenport. This is like the most. Yeah, look at this now, first person, guys. I feel like I'm just part of.
Can you see your legs?
Yeah, let's see if we can see our legs.
Oh,
whoa.
There they are.
I'm like a part of the player right now. Holy immersion, absolute immersion. He's trying really hard here. We are in a little bit of a technical pause as we try to get some players immediately some PC issues at the moment, but we should be able to get this back up and running hopefully shortly.
Oh, well, very safe.
Very safe at this map, Vertigo. The only map where you can jump off and be killed by the environment. You know what's happened a couple times? I mean, it's happened in like some of the weirdest ways too. People falling off the map, trying to get like some nasty off angles.
I've done that a fair few times.
I see. Yeah, it's for better or for worse. Like, oh, okay, the run boost around the edge of the world is like fails like half the time. So,
The tricky one. Some people have it mastered.
I'm sure Davenport have it mastered. I would be very surprised if they didn't have that mastered. They are a team that practices plenty enough, so yeah, they're able to fly across around the edge of the map. I think they could pull it off if they wanted to. If they wanted to. I think it's unnecessary against a team like Timbermen because you rarely see them actually contest for these stairs. At least what I saw yesterday. Again, I said it earlier. Shane was playing a very passive B-hold, playing all the way back to the generators. So he was never really fighting for stairs control. So I'm going to say, while Davenport can do it, I don't think they're ever going to need to break it out.
It'd be good for an eco, right? I feel like you just almost never see it. I very rarely see teams go for it anymore. Maybe that's just as a result of just being able to like flash and take an early fight from B main pretty easy and almost beat them. Beat the CTs to the punch of that early exchange, right? If you just have a flashbang. So that's all you really need for the most part, but it could be good to catch people off guard every once in a while.
Yeah, certainly can. Of course, for Davenport, I think the passive B-hold that Timbermen run is kind of be a strong point for what their attack is going to look like. I don't think, personally, I think the A site is going to be very unfavorable to them, just considering you're going to continually, if their default continues as so, they're going to be running into like 3v3s on the ramp, and just like stacking up player versus player. Timbermen are probably going to win that at least like 70 to 80% of the time if they just go for a 3v3 on ramp. So I think Davenport University need to explore other parts of the map because the Timbermen, they run kind of stock standard setups. In my opinion, nothing like out of the ordinary. They're not necessarily fighting for like crazy amounts of mid control, unless they're, want to go call that as like some sort of anti-strat. But I think personally, Davenport University's success is going to hinge a lot on the lurking of Bebo and the lurking of Corn out middle. So that's my highlight. That's my storyline I'm going to draw up for this game.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually surprised to see the type of success that Eros was able to have. I mean, obviously they didn't have too much. I think they only got 5 rounds versus Timbermen on that T side, but it wasn't as much, towards B. I think they did try to work the issue a lot of times towards middle with Irish on the lurk, and then Seb as well with the B attempts. Like, usually he's so sharp on B entries and B attacks, but I did think the passive play of Shane did catch him off guard quite a bit.
Okay, so we actually are looking at a little bit of a different default here from Davenport. It's a 1-2-2. Only Spec just trying to control the bottom of A ramp alone, and it's a standard 3-1-1 here from the Timbermen. But now seeing that there's no very early presence from Davenport University, they are going to reconvene their forces back to middle. And that could provide some really interesting mid-round decisions. They're going to assemble a boost. I'm not sure if that's able to be heard through the edge of the wall. Don't think it has been. So they can just leave Snap here to jump spot.
That's pretty solid positions. Look at this boost from Dare. Really wide off angle, but there's multiples here. So this should be at best a 1-for-1 trade.
Uh-oh, but spacing's no good. The angle unexpected. And Corn is going to go down. Pug cannot trade. And so now Davenport University have to reconsider. They've actually gotten Bebo up the stairs. This is their big hinge point on the round. Whatever Bebo can do, mean a lot. Molly at his feet. He's going to extinguish the smoke, but Kojomo with a big one. Shane overextends and he'll punish. A huge punish at that. Now Bebo runs through the smoke, tries to find an entry, but Pug on the lurk is doing a lot of damage. Pug has just gotten a triple kill. Coming in from middle. He has demolished the entire site. And just leaving Snab 1v3. He is not going for this. Pug has just won the round.
He did not expect a second lurk. Snab's been bullied off. That might just encourage him to call the save in. Certainly is. No chance to get back into this one. He's going to hang around for an exit or two. But this round is done and dusted, man. Pug did it all. Again, I mean, I feel like they kind of conceded mid-control after dealing with Corn and spotting out that level of presence from Bebo, right? They had to send rotators over to B if you're going to give that level of presence over. Because you know how quick Davenport can collapse in upon that site, especially with Kojo finding that op cutoff point. That is
Yeah,
such a huge round.
It's because he blew up Shane that the mid players had to go in and turn off mid and try and focus down onto the B site. And that gave the timing for Pug. Without that punish there from Kojo, who admittedly yesterday looked very, very cold, this would be a different story. It's 4-1 here for Davenport. If they're able to shoot back here on Vertigo, maybe they can get some gas going into overpassing. This is the dream start right now for Davenport University.
No doubt, no doubt. Great round put together right there from Davenport. Another HE. Just keep on throwing that to try and add to the chip damage here. Snav's been sent on a solo mission to control ramp. Kojo has an op there. That should be good for one. Certainly able to land it. Needs some support though, potentially. Flashbang to bail him out. That's safely for now, but sticks around and Snav will drop as well. That's the rifle dropped onto the ground. And Kojo's still looking for more.
Just gonna lob a flash in. It's Dare on the M4. He's not actually gonna find anything to ramp. It's gonna be going to B, but 2 players here for Timbermen. The most they could even muster, and even then, it's not really enough. Shane, he's a wonderful 1D. He's been given a couple chances, but cannot connect a headshot. Bomb's gonna go down, and a nade even at his feet. Doesn't make this one very easy for Timbermen. Some extras is what they're hoping for. The nade does good damage. Dare is activated on the flank, and that's a save. Oh, triple kill here from Dare. Not like this here for Davenport. Kel, though, unfortunately cannot hit a headshot, cannot capitalize. It must be Dare in a 1v2 for an ace clutch, but he does not have a kit. Now, even a molly to be tossed on the bomb, that should just seal the round away. So, well, 5-1 for Davenport, but still Dare is able to walk away with an op at the end of the day.
Yes, takes Kojo's up right from underneath Davenport's nose, so you're not walking away empty-handed. Doing quite a bit of damage in a round that was initially a, 5v3 post plant, so you got to be happy with some sort of victory. The question does lie in, are they going to start finding some rounds here pretty soon? This CT side was the strong suit here for Timbermen in previous matches, and now they're not really finding too much. They're already stuck on one, with Davenport mounting a pretty healthy lead.
So gonna go and start in at least the bottom ramp smoke. For Timbermen, they're looking to contest in this particular round. This time with all the guns and utility that they need, but nades go in. Ooh. Double nade stack, and Snav starts this round on a handicap down to 22 HP.
He's been trying that quite a bit. He's been trying to just jump spot on the sandbags, try and get an early alarm for that ramp control, and I think Davenport have read in upon that. They have a good idea. Plenty of damage on a Snav to force him off that position. That can be so effective and just allowing for presence to be stacked over elsewhere. This time, though, they're going to be spreading themselves thin and really just giving over more control towards A. I mean, there's a little bit of insurance utility right now from Timbermen that they can try and stall out a bomb plant with. But all things considered, they do have to be a little bit worried if they're going to give this level of control up. What a full execute might look like.
This is a very, very passive setup right now for the Timbermen. They've given up ramp control. They've given up stairs. They're not really fighting for anything. Their utility belts haven't really been expended at all. They're hoping to try and get themselves at least an ace post plant for Davenport. The thing is here for the Timbermen is they have so much utility to continually stall out these plants. Eventually, I think Davenport might have to expend a smoke to extinguish one of these mollies, because their wall of smokes is going to fade, and then Shane will pick up the lurk of corn. Right now, Davenport, they need to extinguish these mollies to get a plant, and those smokes have just faded on the site. I'm not sure how Bebo is meant to escape the situation, and now Davenport have run completely out of utility. Bebo is stuck in position, and Timbermen certainly know this, as well as finding Kel beating him at all on the offensive, and the front fights are just going perfectly. Bebo comes up with 3. Can he get 4? No. Kel will put him to rest, and just taking a little too much time there for Davenport. Timbermen will be able to lock in the round.
Bebo somehow was the last man standing for Davenport in that round. Everyone else tried to help him out, offer up support, but not enough given. Had to pull off a 1v5. Can't believe he was the last man standing there, but I think you brought up a great point. The mollies from Timbermen that continued to just buy time, waited for those smokes actually to fade it bought so much time, and that makes those post plants really, really difficult for Davenport. It's been a couple times that Timbermen have been able to put their concerted efforts to try and hold on to that A control and pull off successful retakes, so well done for them. And that might be a game plan that they keep in the back of their mind, knowing that they pulled it off a couple of times with success.
Well able to get themselves a bye, however, here for the Davenport University side. Again, another very slow default. Just trying to slowly work maps, see what Timbermen are up to. They try to throw anything at this particular round. Timbermen this round, however, going for a bit of a closer B lead, and they're leaving Snav just to be on patrol here on the A site, hoping to find someone, spot some legs. Walking up the A ramp, seeing nothing. It's a little bit of false sense of security right now. Only now Davenport are beginning to make their move up the A ramp.
2 seconds left. Again, there are 2 mollies left. These Timbermen players to try and buy time to delay the plants. 40 on the clock as well, so you do have to make a move on things, and they haven't even cleared sandbags. They haven't gotten a molly down for that. That's going to be a concern here. Getting late into the round, Davenport, they know they have to make a move. They're gearing up for it. But it has to be an A-side finish. There's no other options left.
Yeah, Timbermen aren't really going to do much to stop this. They can toss a couple mollies on towards the plant spot. There it is. Molly onto the planter. Evo will get a smoke to extinguish it, however. So 5-on-5 post plant utility again, though, for Davenport has run completely dry. And there's plenty to retake this for Timbermen. So this 5-on-5, some say it might favor the T side. I think the CTs actually have the advantage in this situation. Snap will have access to the bonk, and you can see the panic once that fake diffuser comes in, but Spec comes in with a double. Bevo as well with a double of his own, and all the site players get washed up. But no, Snap, he's sticking the bomb. There's no time. He runs out of bullets here. Konjo will get him through the smoke, but the ninja defuse, the stick comes in from Snav, and it's going to be 3 for the Timbermen.
It came at a hefty price, but Timbermen will take the control over to them, man. Another successful retake. That one a little more worrisome, but they still close it out nonetheless, so you got to be happy with that result. It's going to put a lot more strain on this buy, though. And I think the Davenport, they might need to try and make some earlier moves right now. We're getting into the point in time where we still have multiple mollies on Timbermen within, 30 seconds left onto the round. So they have to do something to try and bait up this utility a little bit earlier on. Another lovely HE race onto the noggin of Snav, doing some great chip damage, but he does give it back at the very least.
You bring up a good point, though, about drawing at the utility. There's also another way, which is just taking more space by contact here for Davenport University. They are burning a lot of utility on the site play. If they just conserve an extra molly for a post plant would be so valuable. A flash, a smoke. Oh my gosh, a bold play. Just to swing out towards the B stairs to catch off Spec. No way expecting that for Davenport University. So they're going to have to slink away in a man disadvantage to work this A ramp yet again.
That's such a bold call right there to make, but works out to perfection. Again, this is a round that Timbermen really need to win. They need to close this out. They have some limitations on their buy as well, so finding an opening pick is going to alleviate so much stress. They're going for another retake. This is beyond free control towards A. They've completely conceded site. No one's even at that headshot box. They know it's just going to be mollied away, and so now the attack coming through from Davenport. We know that they have a free and open bomb site now.
So, again, this time Davenport do actually have a molly to use. It got it. And now Pug goes over the top of the smoke. You can't do that. 3 versus 5. Now Bevo is going to play up close to this smoke. So this is the definition of one and done, surely. Players going up, top, and above. Torn down to 8 points of health. But yeah, he will get finished off. Oh my god! But Bevo is behind 3, 4 players right now. But again, it's just too many to handle. Kojo just has to creep on out. He needs to fire off a shot. It's a 10-second defuse, admittedly, but he cannot hit the shots. And so it is going to be Timbermen who are inching their way back into this game round by round. Deficit is only 1.
These A-side retakes are just so entertaining, man. The back and forth. The heroics that are almost pulled off there. But they did. They became wise to the fact that no one was speaking. Got a little bit concerned there. Nice closer from Timbermen again. And finally, we actually see Davenport forced onto pistols here. A half buy of sorts. Armor upgraded in upon and a lot of utility here. I wonder what they have in store with this level of utility. I think they're just going to try and keep trying their luck towards A. They think eventually they'll be able to win one of these post plants. They'll be able to win one of these retake attempts that have continuously come through from Timbermen.
You know, I'm thinking that Davenport is learning about what Timbermen's tendencies are. They threw that initial B pop just as a straight anti-strat to the passive B hold that they normally run. But now that they've done that, now they start to realize that Timbermen have a very loose hold on the A ramp. And they might not have to burn as much utility as they think they need to take this A site. So if they have some utility to work with in a post plant, that'll be very, very valuable. But now, as you can see, Snav, you see they're going to take the ramp space for free. They don't have to burn any smokes and flashes for this one. Davenport University are evolving, Cole.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They made the adaptations here, and it's really important that you do so. Have a little more fight to them on this site control. I imagine there's going to be some more smoke spam in the mix. The smokes went wide, though. Actually, it's completely fallen off the map. So that's going to be one less to your disposal. Molly goes right on top of the cutoff there. The HE's on top as well. This is terrifying for Nero and his teammate close by. They have to fight their way out of this situation. The Tech 9s are in, and it will be Corn fighting too, but bested by the op of Dare. Spec now left in last man standing. He's been spotted here slight. But Shane's going to finish the job right there and tie things up to 5s.
Yeah, if Davenport had full utility belts, that's going to be like a different story of a round. If they had an extra molly for the headshot box, boy, does that round get weird. But unfortunately, just not having all the facilities to take the site. And the score has reached 5-all. This is going to be the culmination, though, of this learning process for Davenport about feeling out their opponent. If they can't win this round, this is going to be a statement for the Timbermen that they might have control of the game. They're going for this initial ramp peek, though. This is a difference to the Timbermen setup. However, not finding anything. Again, it's these passive holds for the Timbermen. They try to counter this early round aggression, and then they back away, be back in their chairs.
Yeah, they really are just making no adjustments in their setup because they don't need to. I mean, their A retakes have been on point. Only one of them really coming down to the wire. The others have been very clean, concerted in their attempts, so they're just going to be sticking with what works. Snap is a lot more far forward than usual, though, for Timberman. He's trying to get some spam down through the smoke, and he's definitely doing a good job of keeping them at bay. A huge gap in that. He'll have a forward eyes here. Has to be careful, though. Cannot go down too early. He finds a deke, and he stays alive. He's doing so much damage. But doesn't see Pug.
Oh, Pug underneath. Oh, it's so close, though, Snap. A Pug with a big shot to take down Snav. Snav trying to swing out, trying to nab that kill easy. But Pug has been winning these rounds for Davenport University. Big impact on the site. But now looking to transition that into an execute, perhaps. The thing is, though, losing one of their players who's ability, so they're going to be able to execute it on in once again. This time, another deep play, though, that forces the team very far back. And again, the extra mollies. Okay, 2 of them used to try and keep their suppressed. But still, that extra time bought by those mollies could be instrumental.
See if that's the case. I mean, Pug's still holding on. They just now started the retake efforts, right? And they really need to pull the pin on this. They all have kits, but time's running low.
Oh, Nero will find that initial kill. Corn on the middle of the site, but he is so low that he goes down with 1 bullet from Nero. Can they stop the defuse again? It's another ninja defuse for Timberman. Even though Kojimo lined up a double through the smoke, he doesn't spam it. He doesn't stop that defuse. So again, 3 ninja defuses for Timberman that have won them 3 rounds.
You know, these 8 retakes are just wildly successful right now for Timbermen, man, and they know it. They could do no wrong when these retakes come in. Even when all else fails, someone is inside the smoke. Someone's getting the defuse off. It seems like every single time. And Timbermen are just going to continue with that game plan until it finally comes calling. The Pressure is applied to that economy, though. You drop 5 members, you got to be somewhat happy. Davenport know they're just inches off of closing these rounds, right? So I don't think they're too interested in making any sort of adjustment, although this is a change of pace. 2 players early out towards mid.
And this could actually catch them off guard, but this time around, for the Timbermen, they've actually pushed all the way down these stairs. And they're actually concerted in towards middle. There are 4 players. Proximity for middle. Nero will snag Pug. They should know that Corn is also on the work as well, as only one of the potential players. Ooh, I missed smoke for Corn. Valuable utility burned off the belts of Davenport. They're gonna go for this deeper play again, but this time they have air into the headshot box. Will it land on him proper? It does not. This molly has missed, and Dare is going to capitalize on that. Only taking just a lick of damage. Evo onto Pug. Dare getting run down, but Snap has the cover, but Kojo does get the trade back. Dare still tucked out at the headshot box, and Corn is a sitter onto Dare. But oh no, the flank of Shane. This is what happens when they push down the bottom of B stairs. Shane will get both the kills, and Timbermen are running amok here on the CT side.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first time we've actually seen that flank even be pulled off. I feel like Davenport have been so focused on elevator and dealing with the heaven position in this headshot box that the flank was never in their minds, despite this being a pretty common play from teams to just have one in a post plant try off the fake or other flank, and not expecting that whatsoever. Shane's able to easily mop up a couple of kills. And the success will continue here from Timbermen.
It's the micro situation struggle right now for Davenport University too. They're just not finding themselves. It's just, I mean, a missed molly onto the headshot box. That has to just be, there's a standard lineup. I saw him run throw the molly, and that's, look, you don't need to run throw that molly. You just need to do a quick standing throw. Davenport University are going to go back to what worked at the initial start of this. The thing is here, there's a double setup for the Timbermen. This straight execute is not going to work in the same way that it did early on. Shane, there's a full rotate here. This same execute, it won't work twice because this is a different setup for the Timbermen. Wrapping the entire site, though. Corn has found Kel blind. Snap, though, catching Corn in the open. A trade back, a 3-on-3. Everyone is here, though, for the Timbermen. Once these smokes fade, this will give the opportunity for the Timbermen to make their move. And Snap will be able to nap down the neck. Kojo spraying down, but he's lost his teammate in Pug. 20 HP, the bomb on the floor. Kojo can't do it. And they try to go back to old ways, but Timbermen have adjusted.
On quite a tear right now is Timbermen, man. Absolutely decimating the opposition. You know, a lot of heartbreaking rounds slipping through the cracks there from Davenport, but Timbermen have not looked back. They've been able to win so many close situations, and finally you do see a change of pace. You see them try their luck towards that B side, and I think they were just waiting for that play to come back again. They were so aware of that, the possibility of them trying to run it back. And this time they were already waiting with multiple members. Close up though, the Tech 9. Nicely done for Pug. The trades are in. Nero's keeping things in good standing.
Yeah, the thing is, there's a 3-man ramp attack here for the Timbermen, so you have that extra fallback factor of Nero. And that's just a difference maker. 2v3, Nero. Okay, this is a risky play here from Nero. If a nice shot is hit by the Davenport University guys, then things can change, but now at a 2v3, how will they work this situation?
Couple opportunities, right? But it's not going to be easy. They have 2 smokes and a molly, multiple flashes to get in towards this site, but we've seen how effective these retakes can be. There's no deterrence utility. Timbermen to deal with a post plant, and there's at least spam, but it gets answered right back with Nero actually finding the kill through the smoke. So Kojomo, you really don't like his chances in this 1v3, and jumping on top is Shane to finish the job and keep Timbermen in winning ways right now. I mean, the scoreline was 1-5 at one point.
Yeah, and again, it's just continually shifting setups here from the Timbermen. Generally speaking, their tactics yesterday were kind of on a little bit of tilt. I must say, But today they are being able to shift their setups a lot and counter the Davenport University default. They try to go for a 3-man ramp take, but 3 players are there and dealt with quickly. What's the default looking like here for Davenport this time? They're taking lower stairs control. Just trying again to feel out the Timbermen defense. I feel like at this stage of the game, though, you shouldn't be defaulting, but rather trying to release that conditioning that you so had. All of these defaults before. They tried to do it on the B site with a straight execute, but unfortunately, or fortunately for the Timbermen, they had the setup in place. They had some stairs aggression that just counters that straight execute.
Seems like
Here
they're
you
gonna
go.
be pretty well prepped as well.
Oh man, this is gonna hurt. He's gonna spot Pug. Spot Pug? Oh my gosh! I thought he surely would see Pug there, but Pug now thinks he has some wind in his sails. Now just Shane alone on the site. He will be joined by another rotator here. If Davenport decide to back on away, this could be massive, as there's only one player here on the A site. There is no ramp control at all for the Timbermen. Davenport might have outpositioned their opponents here.
Certainly have. I mean, again, we see another round where they're going to try and retake this A bomb site with 25 on the clock. There's a molly, multiple ones actually, and a couple HGs in the middle as well. This is a huge difference, though. This time, Pug is on the lurk. This time, they have an extra prong to this A attack. He will go down eventually, but he's done his job.
Gonna push.
Now Snap needs to make a heroic play. He goes through the smoke, but he can't finish the job. There's no HGs and no utility to stop this bomb plant, and so now a 4-on-2. Things really start to favor Davenport.
Surely they hold on to the retake. Shane's so low. Kojo, you have smoke, Kojo. Just use it to extinguish. All right, anyways. Shane now, 1v2. Lucky that he's low, and he will go down. Davenport University. Dude, look at that spree of 8 rounds from the Timbermen. Look at how many defuses are there, too. 5 retakes there for the Timbermen.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of those coming down to actually Davenport taking out all of their opposition, right? I mean, they were able to find all 5 kills. They just couldn't get it in time for the defuse to not be pulled off from Timbermen. So a big difference in the scorelines there, right? When you have to, know that you're so close from an actual closer of a round versus actually winning them. And finally, at the very least, they do get that 6. They get off that 5-round scoreline. So maybe a little bit of a relief in the Davenport camp, but still, you have to think what could have been of that T half.
Right. And I think a lot of it came down to Davenport University burning so much utility on the executes when Timbermen, in fact, were playing retake setups. Right? When you burn so much utility on the execute, then the retake just comes flooding back in. We'll get some of our replays from this half. And maybe I can illustrate some of these points. They were able to deal with a lot of these early on. A lot of the Timbermen retakes. And you can see that like the utility belts here for Davenport were oh so empty. And sometimes just some missed utility as well, with Dare able to capitalize on a missed molly. That's normally just a very standard set throw that will be able to burn off the entire headshot box. So, in a little bit of technical pause, so we do get the coach of Timbermen back into play. Hey, he's just arrived. Is Timberman's 6th man? Yeah, he's going to be going into the coaching role there real quickly.
Holding a extra man.
Yeah. Sides will swap as well. Davenport University will have the opportunity to run their CT side here on Vertigo. But I think the biggest thing here from Davenport is I think they took way too long to figure out the setup from Timbermen. I think initially their first round was a very big anti-strat, just based on the common tendency to play a very passive B setup. But after that, they're kind of trying to freestyle it. Just didn't look that convincing.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, I feel like they were just so confident in their A takes that they kept on trying it. They kept on throwing their attempts at the wall right there, and they've come close so many times. I feel like if you run this half back, we would have probably seen a different scoreline. One where maybe Davenport are able to land the smoke spam in time, but they just weren't converting those retake rounds. They weren't able to grab those, and so it's a big difference in scoreline now. I mean, again, Timbermen went on quite the spree there. Managed to get 8 in a row, finally giving over a 6th round for Davenport, but it could have been a very one-sided affair. if we saw, you know, one A-side retake and then Davenport swiftly answer back with, say, a successful post plant. Instead, you know, they just were able to consistently get those retakes off, and I think that Davenport just kept on trusting in those A-takes to lift them out of that mess.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a couple extra mollies that you're able to hold on to is so valuable in a retake. You know, utility, I say, like, utility and AWPs become 3 times more valuable when you get it down to a post plant. And also it just felt like Kojima was, but the thing is, the amount of utility that Davenport had just to press Kojima in a lot of those post plants, he wasn't able to find any early success. So let's see what Davenport have on offer for their CT side, as we're going to be kicking this thing off with a pistol round. Snap taking the full utility belt, also getting a molly, or 2 flashes dropped over, 2 flashes in the smoke and a molly for himself. And a straight ramp rush is the name of the game. Kojo gets the information. He's gonna back away. Now maybe he just wants to fight. Smoke goes into the site though. He gets how many stay in the matter. How this goes. There is going to be a 5-on-5 post plant until Spectral actually finds Snab. Now the bomb gets planted safely in big air quotes, and extra damage and tags through the smoke as they try to fall back away. We have the 4-on-5 in play, but now they're Davenport. There's a huge short side setup, but it is beginning to be dismantled by bodies, throwing bodies at the situation here. Our Davenport, another headshot though from Kel. The P250 doing great work. Hit, it's been picked up for Bebo. Fakes that defuse, needs to bait out Shane, and oh, Shane, it's the shot instead. A huge pistol around the win there for Timbermen.
I cannot believe Shane committed to that fight, right? That's the scariest of scenarios. When you know he's off the bomb, you could just play the time, but he swings for the fences, and it ends up working out in his favor, man. Almost pulling off that retake, though, was Bebo. So very close to finishing the job, but Timbermen start their T-side off in a crucial way, giving themselves more and more chances to try and pluck this map pick from underneath Davenport. They got to buckle down once these gun rounds come around. I imagine this is going to be a pretty full eco coming through. They'll probably try and get those A1s in the next. That's been a common theme throughout this entire event.
Let's see. We're going back into not live territory, folks, as we descend yet again into the depths of a... Okay, hold on. Server is... Yeah, we're going to be a little bit of a server restart, I would suppose, or at least trying to fix some of the wiring here. As I tried to get back flush in, the server was a little wonky. So either way, I mean, throughout this the period that we've had, okay, a pistol round 1 there by the Timbermen. A bit of a more rudimentary setup from Davenport, I'll say. Just kind of throwing bodies at the situation, and well, I think that's where these kind of situations that Timbermen thrive in. I mean, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, they've already proven to be pretty effective post-plant situations on the CT side, so why wouldn't that carry over into their T side? Able to just lay in some really crucial shots. You know, you see a couple of players actually go down when they needed to find multiple kills. They were able to do so, and that actually was the reason why we saw things swing back in favor of Alexa Timbermen. Otherwise, you know, if no one did find their multi-kills, then we were going to see a pretty solid retake effort come through from Davenport, but Timbermen do what they do best and just try and take some of those aim duels. Oh, this is a force buy. Multiple Mag 7s called in. Coupled with some Deagles here and quite a bit of utility. Davenport going for broke. They're not trying to give up too much control just yet. They want to maintain themselves a pretty healthy position, keep that lead narrow.
Fighting ramp here. This is going to be a bit of a ramp fight right now, but they're not actually going to go in and even test the short shell. Not directly, at least the Mag 7. Yeah, that rings out. That hurts, but all dare. Continue to stand this smoke. Eventually, Kojima walks into the laser beam. Horn, he might be able to recover a Mag 7 or walk out from short. That's a big shot, but Shane will trade right on back. 2v4. Davenport, surely they have to save. And the Timbermen, again, are just running amok. You know, they don't care about these little defaults. They're just going to run you down ramp.
Yeah, they were able to make quick work of that full force buy as well, right? Only 1 kill being done. A lot of damage, sure, towards the tail end there, but for the most part, Timbermen have kept it tidy. Able to land 1 through the smoke. They just make a very rapid move in towards the site, hoping to not deal with any of that that presence, not even allow for Davenport to try their luck at a retake with how quickly they made their way in towards site and how quickly they were able to just find the entries necessary to close that round. So all things kept well here for Timbermen on the anti-force spy. So let's carry over that momentum into the next.
Alright, so a couple of extra maybe Mag 7s in play. What would be the plan here for Davenport University? Not necessarily sure what you'd have to be able to bring to the table. But just these light weaponry. You need to win every round you can get at this rate though, Cole.
Yeah, this one's going to be tricky though. I do have a couple of diffuse kits and smoke, so maybe if they can bait Timbermen into the A-bomb site, that could be a game plan here.
This is something.
Pug's making a move as well. I mean, he will have a pretty rapid flank if he wants to continue to pull this, but Shane does seem so weary of this. And his job is just to watch on for any flanking players. That's going to be one quickly dropping.
Well, this 3A setup, it's still in play, but it's so flimsy. It's just a couple of pistols there. Things out. The spray is a bit weird. But careful lineup there. As they expect. 20 ego kills all to get. Timbermen are now up to 12. This is, well, I'll say it, the last laugh that Davenport can throw at their map pick. And then you head to Overpass, which is like, you know, it might be a death sentence for Davenport. They need to start this comeback now.
Yeah, I mean, we could see them turn it around, though, here as well. Now, obviously, you haven't given yourself much chances. You go for that force by round 2 of the half, right? And so now you see Timbermen getting closer and closer to that 16 mark, but they have been known to choke out a pretty hefty lead on this map, on T-side specifically, so don't lose too much hope if you're Davenport. But look at this, through the smoke. Spec certainly not lost any hope. He's going to let one slip on by, but this has been called over, it seems.
They know Kel's there. They certainly knew Kel was there the entire time, and Spec is still down at the bottom of ramp. He gets himself a double kill and 2v4, extra information going their way too. I think all the information should be there for Davenport that both players are here, but Dare still hasn't made his name shown in the kill feed. Now can fire off. It has the Molly for the headshot box, so that one's lobbed on top of Corn. But smoke there to extinguish. He'll be able to remain in position. Dare still daring to take a fight towards the A site, trying to push forward. He'll smoke out elevator too. Really keep these CTs locked out of position. The thing is, once these smokes fade and the mollies as well, not sure how much space Timbermen will be able to get to be able to plant that bomb. But it seems that they will be able to, Cole.
Safe bomb plant coming on forward here. There's a lot of retake utility, but it can be scary. Looking to isolate these guys. Pug swings out for one. They line up for Dare, though. He finds multiples to answer back. He's on low HP. They're closing in, but he's still able to isolate Bebo. He does get taken down, though. Bebo does win the duel. And so Davenport, they stay steady, but that was getting so scary in the 2-on-4.
Just imagine if he hit another headshot there onto Bebo, and then this clutches on, because Kojo only has an AWP. Now, an AWP is cool and all, but in a 1 versus 1, where you have to try and actively take down a player, try and hunt one down, that could have gotten really, really terrifying for Davenport. But they get past, and they also have the Oppa Kojimo still in his hand, so who knows? The economy can still at least be able to go on an upward trend, but we need to see consistency here from Davenport. What's going to be their solution?
They have to at least, you know, try and keep up that level of early success that they were gathering in the last round, right? You know, Spec diving through multiple smokes to gather himself a forward position, knowing that Kel had slipped past him in the smoke as well, so effective communication in the Davenport camp. Double that. They have to make sure that they can replicate that early success. They can continue to allow maybe Spec to go for those aggressive movements, to hold off aggressively towards ramp, set themselves up for that level of success. And on this occasion, he's just going to be isolated in towards sandbags, so they are taking a more passive approach. Oak spotted one out towards middle. The HG looks right on the money, but does get a little bit of an unfortunate bounce to it.
Let's not forget what Kel was able to do on these lurks yesterday versus Eros. Sure, they lost the map, but early on in the T side, demolishing, and Beck is going to have to deploy his smoke to keep himself safe. He is stuck out towards the sandbags right now. And once that smoke fades, once another molly rains in, that could be his demise. Kojimo playing a very risky angle as well. If he misses his shot, he is surely a goner, but takes the shot anyways. will be able to back away just in time, and Spec tries to swing out, but he's being watched for the entire time. Kojimo battle-opping up close to the smoke. It's gonna be no-scope territory for this guy, and he's gonna find it on the snap. Now Kojimo even gets away, gets repositioned, gets the second. Can he make it 3? They're terrified here of Kojimo right now, and now all the riflers begin turning out. It is just there on 10 HP. A nade is coming sailing his way, and that is gonna be Davenport University. They set down the stakes, they put up a tent, they camp out that A site.
God, that is so risky from Kojo right there, but as his teammates go down, he knows he needs to make a play. He knows he needs to be a little bit of a hero. You cannot just give them so much control over in a 4-on-5 in that sort of situation, and so he goes right in front. Battle ops. And nominal work from him. Exactly what you want. That level of confidence coming through from your opper.
Now, looking to go for an aggressive ramp peak, perhaps. Gonna drop his molly instead, try to deter this very quick Timberman pace that we've been throwing every single round. But kind of just, you know, throwing a feint forward, and now they're gonna slink back away.
Gonna try to make the move in towards B. There's a forward angle being held from Bebo. That's gonna have an early alarm, but he needs to find multiples, right? He's the closest rotator. His teammate in Pug isn't that fast on rotation, and he has a couple mid players to deal with as well.
Look at the angle from Bebo, though. This is a very committed angle. There isn't a lot of space to fall back. If the spacing is good from the Timberman, he could get picked off, but of course the weaponry is a big consideration. So he gets to face off against it. That's a nice one on a snap, and you can see the spacing not quite there. There will be no trade onto Bebo, so a clean one found. Now that's mid split. It's very silent. Pug might not actually be aware of this. The smoke thrown up to at least try to delay. They have walked up oh so close. Korn's gonna go for a swing. Oh, what a shot though. Double kill as well comes in from Korn. Bebo as well, holding down the ramp very nicely. A seamless anti-eco comes through for Davenport.
So done. Couple AKs in the mixer as well, so things could have gotten scary, but certainly limited in their success with the Timbermen. Unable to get too much done. I do like the angle that Bebo's playing, but if he didn't, you know, find a kill and stay alive, he would have very well been, you know, responsible for that E bomb site falling and no one else really being able to come in time to recover it. So well done from him. Playing as the effective anchor. Needs to be close to have 14. Fast ramp control taken on the gun round though. Inside the flames, Snap is going to fall on back. The utility has pushed Davenport back the same, so back and forth traded of control here for these two teams.
This is so dangerous, though. They're both gonna. Korn is not. He gets both of them somehow. Korn with a massive double kill, and that would surely bring Davenport back, not just in the round, but in the game. And that's the bomb to Cole.
That can be done before it ever lifts off. Spec, the lovely headshot as well to keep things in winning ways for Davenport, not giving anything back. Korn follows up with more. Pelt is going to have a couple through the smoke, but no. Kojomo is going to best him with the op, not allowing for any sort of funny business to take place in this round. Shutting things down very quickly, though, is the side of Davenport. They keep things in good stead and make quick work of that full gun round from Timberman.
Right now, Timbermen are consistently throwing themselves a fast pace up towards ramp, and Davenport, when you have 3 players there, it's just simply it's something you just cannot really fight. You have to have some sort of master level protocol to be able to deal with an aggressive forward 3A setup that Davenport are consistently running. So again, they're gonna do this similar thing, this time with pistols, and well, they're out of smokes right now, Cole. They don't get any initial kills, and the nade stack onto the sandbags. Kaboom, go to. And even Spec, he wants extras. They are a little bit exposed. He just misses opportunity. Will not. And this 2v5 is about sunk.
This should be a pretty easy closer again. I mean, we're seeing Timbermen in the exact same fashion. This time, the Davenport, they have room to work with. They're not stuck on, you know, no mistakes afforded. They've got plenty of wiggle room. They're one off the tied scoreline right now, holding them at 12 for so very long. Not giving over any gun rounds either. Looking very, very tidy on the CT side once the rifles have come on through. They are replicating that early success as well, right? I mean, a couple of these rounds, either Spec or Korn have found early multi-kill opening kills. So it's so huge that Davenport are keeping that level of CT side.
See if there's any adjustments here from Timbermen. They've been consistently going for these early ramp plays, but now they're going to go back to B stairs. They need a flashbang to knock Kojimo off this angle, though. Or this costly. He lets go of it, but Bebo has pushed all the way down the stairs. It might be a one-and-done. If he can get a double kill here, it would be massive, but no. And Kojimo misses his opportunity. He'll have to fall back. He's going to push up close in 2 players with nades in hand. That will be an easy double for Pug. They'll be able to back away as well. Snav and Kel left to pick up the pieces. I don't think there's many pieces to pick up here, though, Cole. Snav's been spotted. Just running around the site, hoping to find something to hook onto. But there's so many players smothering it right now, suffocating Timbermen out of the site. Little utility. Kojimo will hit that every day of the week. And this is 6 rounds straight. EU Esports.
And just making quick work. Bebo starts things off with the opener, but they're just not expected of that regression coming through from Pug, man. Again, these bold moves, when they're lining up their execute, they think it's safe, but they're so very wrong. Pug made the proactive play with the AK.
What an adjustment, though. It's what an adjustment, because Davenport University consistently running 3-man A setups. All of a sudden, you're running a 3-man B setup, right? It's so unexpected in the minds of the Timbermen. It's like, yeah, we should have this control for free once they take down Bebo. But no, Pug is there and is... There's no way in the minds of Timbermen that Pug should even be there. Now, you're on a bit of a broken buy. You didn't get a bomb plank. You don't have utility to take this. Knock Kojimo off this angle. And this is exactly where the op thrives. Where there is no utility to stop this man. Nero pushing up the short side, though. Kojimo all of a sudden has multiple angles to deal with. Does have a smoke to his back, so the ramp player can't actually see them. However, Kojimo blinded by the one flashbang that they had, but Pug puts up the hold, sprays 2 down. Now Shane, 1v3. He'll find the initial, but down to 6 points health. The nades even coming through. Now he's on 4. Just a lick of a Molotov will finish him. A bullet will do as well. Nade. What? Knife in hand for Pug? 1v1. But Shane, is he going to get aggressive? He might expect a flank from Bebo, but that patience from Bebo, it's going to pay off. Davenport University take the lead.
Patience paying dividends right there. That was a big mistake made from Pug, not expecting that that player to be scaled up off that smoke, but nonetheless, he gets bailed out. Bebo saving the day. Keeping them in winning ways here. Kojimo, he's just getting dry swinging multiple times. I feel like he's getting away with murder in some of these angles being held. He's getting free picks, getting free opportunities, and he's capitalizing on every single chance he can gather. This is what I was talking about. You need your opper to be able to deal with some of the aim. Timbermen, they're walking into so many rounds of man down here. Kojo has another chance. He's going to go for a repeat here. But Kels is not going to mess with that fight twice.
So bottom of ramp. No commitments early. Absolute pace shift here. Timbermen. Trying to feel out a reaction right now from Davenport University. Don't begin to slow creep up the ramp. But right now, Davenport University aren't really looking to contest this. They still... Kojimo's off is not really active on the A side. Instead, it's on the B side of the map, so... Who knows what the situation is. They have pushed Bebo all the way down the stairs, and you can see now that Davenport... They are loving these aggressive A setups. They're not going to play these retakes. They want to stop them where they stand. See how good this utility usage is, though. Timbermen maybe force them off as a wallbang kill comes through from Snap. And now this execute becomes so much more potent from the Timbermen.
Unless to deal with Corns dropped in sword side hole as well, so there's multiple avenues in towards this bomb site. Kojimo falls, the AWP, they're finding every entry necessary, but Pug still stands. Does offer up a kill, picking up the AWP of his fallen teammate as well. He needs to isolate some of these fights here. The smoke's going to fade. One for a wall bang, but that's not going to offer up anything. They're still holding their ground. They're holding their positions and not moving a muscle, not giving Davenport an access point back into this retake. But Pug spotted the backpack here. He has an idea. Snap has Overwatch, so he's not going to allow for that scaling. And Bebo's going to be closed in above the wall. Triple swing in. And there you go, Timbermen. They break the dry streak of gun rounds that haven't gone their way after long last.
There we go. Finally, it's just a little bit of a pace change. Not handing them an early opener. Davenport University just sort of out of position when it came to the setup. Also, the wallbang kill in the spec is just such a huge one because it's a big utility belt. I'm pretty sure he still had mollies and everything still to use in that round, but no good there. There, however. Oh, he didn't pull. I'm not sure he pulled the trigger there, Cole. That might cost them. Flash, though, in towards the lower site, and they'll find Shane alone on a lurk, an untraded kill. This time around, mixing up the opening strat book for Davenport University pays dividends.
Nice start. Bevo's still sticking around as well. Pug.
Huge
hanging about as well, making a lot of noise and maybe encouraging them to make a quick movement through the smoke. Another smoke gets thrown out. Now, though, it's already faded. Snav. A big pick right there. At least it's a little bit of a lifeline in this round. He's flashing quickly. Pug doesn't realize he hasn't spotted him, and so Snav gets another.
Now, Kojo. That's a team flash. Oh, was that a team flash? Not necessarily sure. Kojimo fires off his op, and that just kind of rings all the alarm bells that this A site might be very open for the Timbermen. Smokes go in. Corn. I'm gonna toss at least a molly onto the bomb plant spot, but how much longer can that stall? There's one more molly in the tank, but it might actually be able to stall it enough for these smokes to fade, Cole. Davenport University just need to be patient. They just need to be... Oh, but one of their mollies had missed, Cole, so they'll be able to walk into the site, and Dare gets just a shooting gallery rolled out in front of them. Kojimo has to save, and this is going to be 14 for Timbermen.
This has to be the save call dead, man. Timbermen, all they needed was one round to reactivate the life in this team, it seems. I mean, Snav able to find that first opener, but then underhanding a flash through that B smoke for the second is a bold call, but it works out. And that's the sort of, confidence that Timbermen can bring to the table, right? It's not something that we have seen versus Eros, where they were really shut down and couldn't muster up any of it. But now that they've started to find a couple rounds in a row, getting close to breaking that economy of Davenport, I wonder if this is another game where they just run out of gas.
Oh, there was a moment there on the B stairs where they could have let Bebo stay in position and fake the fallback because he had Pug by his side. But getting picked off there at the B stairs is catastrophic, even though it was admittedly... It was I think Davenport University have had all the right ideas this game, but the execution has sorely struggled. There's some things to fix to start off this round. That HP on the spec is definitely going to hurt.
A lot of chip damage done right there. Do like this call to assemble the boost, though, right? I mean, it's worthy of whipping out at least once on this CT side to try and catch a free pick here and there. And right now, he has full control of ramp maintained with only 2 players committed towards this A site. So you're gathering a lot of information. You can start to bring that presence elsewhere. Stack a second player towards mid or a second player towards B. And that's exactly what Davenport are going for at the moment.
Yeah, not really fighting for heavy ramp control. Also immune to wall bangs. That is one of the win conditions that's been part of the Timbermen camp.
Yeah, it's a great position to get. He's on 4 HP, right? So if he can walk away with a single kill, that's going to make things very awkward, though. Great molly thrown out here from Timbermen. Forces the boost to be fallen off of, and does leave 40 seconds, so they have to make a move here shortly.
The spec's so low, it just... And all the utility running dry. Davenport can't. One more smoke to throw in. Off the short shelves, but now they begin to scale the ramp, and this is where this short defense becomes so claustrophobic. 3 players stuck in this back lane. The Oppa Kojimo, though, will find Shane to initially start, and one of those smokes is actually missed, Cole. Maybe an opportunity here. As Spec on low HP still finds that kill, but Snap lines up the double kill. And now, Pug gets off the bomb plane going in, but Snap trying to provide cover, but Davenport University swing right through, deny it on the spot, and force all 30 rounds of regulation.
It's another Vertigo where we have to go the distance, man. These are so common in Denver right now. Absolutely wild turnaround right there from Davenport as well, man. The deterrence utility, the smokes and mollies that kept them at bay until 10 seconds on the clock is phenomenal from Davenport. You got to keep that up here in this round. If they're able to win this, it'll really strain that economy of Timbermen as well. So this becomes a real chance to deliver the finishing blow for either side.
Right now, whoever wins this round might just win the game. Financial ruin is on the other end of this. A perfect grenade, though. Nearly a 150 damage one. But they walk up ramp. Spec's waiting for it. They're just trying to contact this one. And boy, could they pay for it. It's Corn trying to lock it in. And yeah, he will. He'll get himself the double. And Kel, he also burns down the half HP despite getting his kill. And look at all the HEs remaining on the Davenport camp. If he tries to even do so much as plant, he'll get an artillery strike waiting for him. HE is going to be tossed in. However, Kel is able to escape and actually establish the post plant. But the amount of utility that Davenport have is monumental. So it's onto the bomb and onto short. Kel has a flashbang. He's going to lob it in. That certainly... it reveals his position, but Pug is able to swing in. And should be able to get this in. The amount of utility, the good trades, the BM at the end of the day. It's Davenport University who found map point first.
On point, though, that's going to be the big factor here. Just facilitated a pretty healthy buy. So that kind of nightmare scenario that we were talking about isn't going to be true here for Timbermen. They still have a very healthy investment coming into this round to try and close things off into overtime. But at one point, this team was in very good standing, right? So they do not want to be backs against the wall here on Vertigo.
Speed 14. Davenport University, a win. And for Timbermen are searching for an overtime. Playing the same setup, but oh man, this boost is just too late. This boost is too late. That smoke. They're into short right now. Oh my,
disastrous.
The risk. If they just so much as walk up. Oh, this is what the noise made. That's gonna make, surely that makes them realize that they're already up to short. Did Spec not realize this? Oh, we're gonna walk right back into Spec. Both of them are gonna walk right back into Spec. The unbelievable decision making to keep that boost going.
Nice, Bebo.
Bebo falls. The B site still might be open here for Timbermen. Pug on the edge of the smoke, but Nero on the entry. It's perfect. We're caught holding the cross. Kojimo hits the fast shot. Now this 2v3 Shane. He's looking for a kill. Eros falling to the grenade. It must be Shane. Up top on the site. It's Davenport University who take map number 1 down 12-6 to start off the half. They run it all the way back.